All right, Chavez Ravine tonight, the nightcap. Atlanta taking on the Dodgers. The story here, guys, and we talked about it last week. Clayton Kershaw coming off the perfect 7 inning game, and then Dave Roberts came to the rescue to take him out. So I know there's going to be a lot of talk tonight as Kershaw gets ready to take the mound. He's a $2.10 favorite. If you like the Braves, you're getting plus money or plus 180. We've seen the Braves unusually getting a lot of plus money here over the last week or so. Total in this game is 8. Kershaw back on the mound. Interesting to see how he comes out of that last start. As you know, guys, that we all talked about it last week, that Dave Roberts, should he stay with him? Should he not? Trying to preserve his health and everything. Well, we'll see what happens with Clayton Kershaw tonight. I can guarantee you that his 80 pitch, perfect 7 innings is not going to come into play here tonight. He's not going to have any arm problems. He should be able to go deep into this game tonight. But the question here is, how effective is Kershaw going to be against the Braves lineup? We know up until last year, Kershaw was 5-0 against the Braves at an ERA of right around 2. But his lone loss last year to Atlanta was his most recent one. It was last summer when the Braves beat him up pretty good. So let's see what happens here tonight with Clayton Kershaw. Thoughts on this game, BaseWinner?
Yeah, I think it's priced about right. I've got it priced at minus 196. So it's right in the middle between the juice spread. But one of the things, and I hate to go conspiracy theory here, but maybe Kershaw had a little bit of an injury. That's why they pulled him. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I was to bring up, actually. And what do we know about Ynoa? He got absolutely pulverized in his first game. And I think that's a real astute point. I was actually going to lean on the Braves, but go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, no. I asked you what you thought of it, and I don't know if that's true or not. And the other thing about, and I did the math on Kershaw, the odds of him hitting a perfect game. So he's got to get 6 outs right there, and I gave him a OBP. His OBP is 0.277. So I did the math, and I came up to like the best case scenario at a 20% chance to get a perfect game. So is that worth it to keep him in there? I don't know. I don't know if there's anything, if he's injured or anything, but like, I don't know. The guy's kind of a tough pitcher. Like maybe there's something there. For this game, I'm not gonna go either way on it. It's priced to me the way it needs to be priced. But I did want to say something about how good the Dodgers have been, and if you look at my site, I've got this expected standings based on weighted runs created plus, xFIP minus, and defensive runs saved. They've already saved 10 defensive runs, and their implied win percentage best in baseball at 766. So they're right there with their conventional numbers. I think the Dodgers are a tough team to play against. Yeah, but this thing's priced where it needs to be, I think.
I'm going to squash the conspiracy theory there, Mark. I think Kershaw was fine. Actually, the day after that game, I had Tim Neverett on my show, who does the radio play-by-play for the Dodgers, and I specifically asked him about pulling him, because obviously that was the big talk. We talked about it. Everyone was talking about it. And I asked Tim, I said, Kershaw said after that game in the post-game press conference, he goes, well, my slider didn't have the same bite in innings 6 and 7 as it did earlier. And Tim says, I wish someone would have followed up with that, because there's no way in the world. He was watching the game. He was calling the game live, and he goes, that slider was fantastic in inning number 7. But remember, this is Dave Roberts. I mean, this is all about Dave Roberts being ultra conservative. He's going to be ultra conservative with his horse and Clayton Kershaw, especially in April. But we've seen the guy do it with Rich Hill in September. We've seen him do it with Max Scherzer and Clayton Kershaw in the postseason. We see him do it with everybody. So I think Kershaw was totally fine. Again, he was never challenged in that game. We talked about it on this show as well, too. I mean, the Twins did everything they possibly could to help this guy out. They're swinging at everything. There were no high leverage innings. I mean, there was one ball that maybe could have got through with a hit, and Gavin Lux made a pretty good play with that. But no, I think Kershaw was fine, and there's no indication that injury popped up here. But again, it is a steep price. It'll be interesting to see how he comes back. And I know that we've talked about this before, and Jeff, you mentioned it. You're never as good as your last start, never as bad as your last one as well, too. So we'll see what Clayton Kershaw has tonight. And are these Atlanta bats ever going to come alive? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue. I mean, you look at Kershaw, though, and outside of April last year, for the most part, when he had a great outing, his next outing was generally pretty poor. I mean, you have a couple of times where he'll throw 1 run or no runs, and then the next he'll get lit up for 4 or 5. He is 38 years old at this point. There are some questions on what his how old is Kershaw? Not 38. He's 32 or 33 or something.
It was 34. I think we talked about that last week. Yeah,
seems like he's 38. He's been around forever, so I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I wonder, how much consistency does he still have? And look, I know that the talk is, oh, he's fine, everything's good, but maybe there's an issue down a little bit further that we don't know of, and I'll take a shot with that. I'll have a small plate tonight on the Braves. I mean, it was terrible. You obviously expect that hopefully that he bounces back and has a better outing here tonight. But yeah, I gotta wonder about Kershaw. He had struggled last year with consistency, having like 3 or 4 great outings in a row. He generally, when he pitched poorly or he pitched well in a game, he'd come back and pitch poorly in the next.
Yeah, Clayton Kershaw, guys, turned 34 3 weeks ago. So there you go. But it seems like he's been around forever. That's why we think he's like 36,
I would guess
37.
closer to 44 than 34. What a career this guy's had. Jeez.
All right. So no official play for any of us on this game, but we will be watching it and very curious to see how Clayton Kershaw comes into tonight's game.
Well.